Hello everyone, Daniel Masuda Lehrman here, your fee-only financial planner based in Honolulu, Hawaii, serving clients virtually nationwide. Today we're talking about Roth conversions. Specifically, how can you tell when a Roth conversion makes sense, and is there such a thing as converting too much? We've all heard the benefits of converting traditional IRAs to Roth IRAs, especially the long-term tax advantages, but like any financial strategy, Roth conversions can be overdone, and if you're not careful, you could end up costing yourself thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes. So let's talk about how to find that sweet spot for Roth conversions. Let's start with a question I recently got from a client. Daniel, I heard you talk about Roth conversions as a way to reduce lifetime taxes, but is there a point where doing too many Roth conversions can hurt my portfolio's growth? Can you explain how I should think about this? And that's a great question. The short answer is yes. There absolutely is a point where Roth conversions can be overdone. And when that happens, the tax savings you're hoping to achieve can end up backfiring. In some cases, you could end up paying tens of thousands more in taxes than you would have if you had done no conversions at all. To illustrate this, let's break it down with a simple example. Imagine you have $100,000 in a traditional IRA. You're in the 24% tax bracket today, and you know that over the next 10 years, that $100,000 is going to double to $200,000. Now you're trying to decide whether or not to convert that $100,000 currently in your traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. A lot of people might look at this and say, okay, if I convert $100,000 today, I'll pay $24,000 in taxes up front, and then I'll have $200,000 tax-free in 10 years. Pretty good deal, right? But here's the catch. What if instead of paying that $24,000 in taxes today, you kept that invested in a taxable account and that $24,000 doubled to $48,000 in 10 years? Suddenly, the opportunity cost of paying those taxes up front starts to cancel out some of the benefits you were hoping to get from the Roth conversion. The point being, you have to consider that lost growth on the taxable money, or you're not seeing the full picture. The question is, when is it a wash? Let's take this a step further. If you're in the exact same tax bracket today as you'll be in the future, doing a Roth conversion is essentially a neutral move. Whether you convert now and pay taxes up front, or wait and pay taxes when you withdraw the money in the future, the outcome is pretty much the same in terms of the after-tax value of your portfolio. But what happens if your tax bracket is lower in retirement? Or what if tax laws change? This is where things start to get a little bit more complex. There are 5 key factors that you should think about when deciding how much or how little Roth conversions is right for you. Number 1, look at the micro versus the macro tax environment. Let's look at the macro environment first. Current federal and state tax brackets and where you think they'll be in the future. No one has a crystal ball, but if you expect tax rates to rise in the future, that could make a Roth conversion more appealing today. But don't stop there. You also need to consider your personal or micro tax situation. What's your taxable income today versus what it will be in the future? If you expect to be in a much lower tax bracket in retirement, doing a Roth conversion now might not make sense. So consider the macro versus the micro tax environment. Number 2, required minimum distributions, or RMDs. Once you hit the age of 72 or 73, you'll be required to start taking distributions from your traditional IRAs. These required distributions have the tendency to push you into a higher tax bracket, even if your spending in retirement is relatively low. If you have large RMDs looming, converting some of that IRA to a Roth IRA ahead of time could help you manage your future tax burden. Number 3, state tax changes. If you plan to move to a different state in retirement, state income taxes can play a huge role in your decision to convert to a Roth IRA. For example, if you live in a high tax state like California, but plan to move to a no tax state like Texas or Florida, you might want to hold off on Roth conversions until after you move to avoid paying state taxes on that conversion. Number 4, charitable giving. If you are charitably inclined, you might want to use a strategy called Qualified Charitable Distributions, or QCDs. This allows you to send your RMDs directly to a charity, which counts towards your RMD amount, but is not taxable to you. If you plan to do a lot of charitable giving in retirement, this might reduce your need for Roth conversions. And finally, number 5, legacy planning. Think about who will inherit your retirement accounts. If you plan to leave your IRA to your kids, they'll have to take that money out within 10 years, which could push them into a higher tax bracket if they're in their peak earning years. So converting to a Roth now could make their inheritance tax-free, but you'll need to weigh the upfront cost of conversion against the long-term benefit for your heirs. Another thing to consider is your own life expectancy. If you expect to live into your 90s or beyond, your RMDs will get larger and larger, which could push you into a higher tax bracket later in life. But if you're not expecting to live that long, or if you plan to leave your assets to a charity, there might not be much of a point in doing a Roth conversion at all. So to bring it back to the original question, yes, you can definitely overdo a Roth conversion. It's not always about converting as much as possible. It's about finding that balance that makes the most sense for your specific situation. Roth conversions can save you a lot of money in taxes over time, but they can also cost you if you're not careful. So that's it for today's video. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with any questions you have. And if you're looking for personalized financial planning, feel free to reach out to me at Masuda Lehrman Wealth. Thanks for watching. See you next time.